All right, shoulders, a little bit of chest and tri at the end. And it's currently 3 o'clock on a Saturday, so it shouldn't be too bad in there. Maybe I can talk a little more during the lift, if anything comes to mind. But before we get in there, I think my previous card talks, I've been talking about the lifts a good amount. So maybe I'll talk about either diet or something outside of the gym. So I guess something I just thought of before starting the video is talk a little bit about peptides. Not all of them, but I'll just talk about like the main ones, right? I think the one that everyone at least talks about is like retatrutide, which I guess it can help. I guess it's like the most similar thing compared to is Ozempic, but I think a lot of people often estimate what it does and kind of forget about the fundamentals. So let me at least explain. Let me first explain a flaw within it of thinking that you're going to take something that helps with weight loss and look good with the weight loss from I don't want to say bodybuilding context, but just from wanting to look like lean or shredded context. So essentially, if you don't know how retatrutide works, it helps slow your digestion, and because your digestion slows down, you're less full because the food you eat stays in you longer before you shit out. So it makes you feel full. Flaw with that is, sure, it may make you eat less, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be having a proper diet to help look good while losing weight. So it makes more sense. Like, if you don't have a good diet, even on retatrutide, you may lose weight but still look like crap. Because if you're not eating like that much protein that you should be, you don't really train much, and I don't know, out of the food that you do eat in a day, it's kind of just like, I don't know, just like super fat, high fat content, low carb, low protein, and maybe losing weight, but that doesn't, like, it won't visually look clean. It kind of will look like a skinny fat. You'll basically look skinny fat instead of fat. So I guess some people may be like, well, I just don't want to be fat, but I think for the most part, people that do use or want to use retatrutide think it's just going to make them look shredded or lean. But I think that they don't realize that if you don't keep on top of the other things that are still important, you're just going to look skinny fat. Because you're still going to have a little bit of love handles. Like, it's not going to make you shredded. And that comes from not having like a good macro friendly, I want to say macro friendly, but a good macro diet. And it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole for most people. It may help a little bit with just like eating less, but it's not like an end-all, be-all thing, okay? It's not like the first time there's been some type of weight loss drug, okay? There's been a bunch of other ones. Some of them are PEDs, but what made it's like, you can't outsmart the fundamentals of a diet and the training, right? That's why I want to talk about it, because I know it's a very, I want to say hot topic. I guess it is kind of a hot topic, especially with more of them coming out. That it's a tool, but it's not the answer, right? So I guess some context that would make sense to use it is if you are obese. Yeah, obviously it will help. Because your goal there is just to lose weight, not to look good with the weight loss. You just want to lose weight. Another one is if you're competing for a show, I guess naturally or not naturally, and to help in those last like 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks of being super hungry, that can help slow your digestion with that a little bit. But it's not like it's something necessary. Just because you're hungry doesn't mean that you have to find some way to inject yourself and if you try to push the pain away. Yeah, I think those are the two like main. And no, I did not use Peptide for my show. I know I competed over the summer. That's not why I said it. I've never used it. Those are like the two main, I guess, reasonable ways that I've seen people using Retta. I don't know. Some of the guys are like fitness influencers. I wouldn't even call them fitness influencers, but some of the guys that make fitness-related content, at least related to their physique, say they're taking it, but you don't realize they're also taking tests and a bunch of other shit to make them look good. It's not just a magical thing. So, I guess that's the main one. BPC 157. I know a little bit about. Seems like it helps with mainly injuries, but it's not going to be some magic thing to get you big. Because I know when it has like not restorative effects, like IGF effects, which is like with growth. People may think that it's like some magic way of helping put on weight, kind of like a growth hormone, but no, it's definitely not going to do that. The main thing would just be help with injuries, but what is going on here? So that's as far as that. Melanotan, I mean, I guess if you give enough shit about being tan, it's the only thing that helps with this. It's if you're like super pale, I want to help you tan. I don't know, if you have some skin problems, maybe. But even then, I don't know. Some of this shit's kind of fruity to me, not gonna lie. Like, I get you want to be presentable. Like, I'll make myself presentable, but like, I don't know. The way that some of these guys describe it is kind of gay. For real though. Those are the three main that I can think of. I'm sure there's plenty of other peptides, but I don't know. There's one. What is it? G. Starts with a G. It's what is it? Histidine, lysine, and glycine. I don't know. It's a 3 amino acid peptide. Something that helps with your skin, but that's another one. It's like something that's in melanotan. Unless if you have some skin problems, then maybe. But really, I don't know. I feel like this is always just like a repeated loop with I want to say the industry, but like people trying to find a way to loophole to either get big or get lean without having to put the work in. I think the most previous thing before peptides is like enclomiphene, yeah, which is a SERM. It's a selective estrogen receptor modulator. In simple terms, it helps boost your test, and it actually does by a lot. And it's damn near like TRT without injecting TRT, which is testosterone. Again, that was like the thing 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Now it's peptides. There's a time and a place for them, but I don't know. I guess some guys just get a kick out of feel like they're fucking pinning like steroids if they pin peptides. And I think most people don't even know what a peptide is. Ask somebody what is a peptide. It's, I don't know. It just sounds like they're enhancing their physique. So peptide is, well, first, the protein you eat is a bunch of these things called amino acids together. Inside, let's take a look at chicken breast. There's a bunch of amino acids in it, chained together. Obviously, there's fucking like a billion of them, right? Because they're super tiny, like at a DNA level. So, a peptide is 50 or less of those amino acids. So it's a smaller chain than a protein, but more than just one amino acid. So peptide is a smaller chained protein, in simple terms. And some of these is, I don't know, I think one of them, the skin one, I think is only like a 3-chain peptide, or a 3 amino acid peptide. So it's basically like your chicken breast, except they already organized. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? They already organized the sequence of the amino acids within the bottle, right? Which is how they basically mimic some of the things that your body already produces, but just have it in abundance because they made it for you to inject to give your body more of it. I mean, that's the general scheme of most things that you take as supplement-wise. Your body already makes it, you're just helping it with a bunch more. So yeah, thought I'd mention that because I know one of my friends in the gym I go to, he was mentioning he wanted to use Peptide. I mean, I guess out of the things that you could be taking to fuck around with, I feel like that's not really gonna hurt you long term. As long as you're not taking fucking stupid amount of dosage and then you fuck up your GI tract. But yeah, I don't know. I just think a lot of people take shit they don't know what the hell they talk, like, not know what they're talking about, but don't really know what they put in the body. So that wasn't the main takeaway of what I was saying. The main takeaway was just, it may help you lose weight, but it may not be the desired look that you want. You may just be skinny fat instead of fat. Obviously less fat, but won't look like shredded. You know what I mean? But it's all relative to your diet. Shoulders, we'll start with lateral raises. Shoulder press, then more lateral raises, rear delt fly. Superset. No, chest will be a superset of pec fly and push-ups just to get it done, because it's not the main thing we're hitting today. And then triceps will do, not dips, but we'll do skull crushers and then some type of supinated weight hit triceps, because that's the only time I really do a supinated tricep push down. So, call it there. See you guys in there. All right. Make sure everything's all set. All right, like I said, we'll start with lateral raises. A lot of the time I'll just use, hold on, just one of the machines here, but I don't know. The nice thing about not having to track the exact weight and rep I do for my previous session, try to like beat one more, is that I can be flexible with what type of lateral raise I start the day with. If I feel like doing a single arm kettlebell lateral raise instead of doing just a regular machine one, it's not a problem, because I don't have to think about checking off that box of just one more rep from last week. Oh. That being said, obviously you have to keep track of your food, calorie intake, weight week to week, and all the other shit, but I do know when I was only using the weight and reps I wrote down like my notes app weekly, I always thought it was like gonna plateau because, if I didn't go into the gym and hit one more rep on the same exact thing I did last week, I felt like I was doing something wrong, but half the time that's not the case. All right.
lot your air with it, and that's when you close your stomach. Push behind, and then roll it. Roll under. Now what you do, you want to flex the session. It's not for that. Over. But just a little small, but yeah, same exact like thing. So push it forward. Little shot. Push under. Yeah. You're doing something for the first time. So this is why I was telling you, like, just kind of getting the good. You're going to be tight. Because if you can do it now, for a workout, you can do it no problem, fucking fresh. So you do it every time after your workout. Where it's off. That's where everything else is. Roll up. Roll up. If my chest flat, I'll lose my size.
I know I see this every time, I think, or at least almost every time I do shoulders, but it's starting with something that isolates whatever you're trying to hit before doing like a pressing movement. It's so much easier hitting that muscle. Like for this, doing lateral raises, I know it's not isolated because I guess you hit your traps too, but like for the most part, it's isolated. So my shoulders are already pumped, and then when I go into this, one, way easier to actually feel my shoulders being activated. Two, they're for sure going to be the first thing I give out instead of my triceps. So, from like a bodybuilding standpoint, am I concerned about not doing an extra 15 pounds on this because I fatigue my shoulders by doing lateral raises first? No, that's not the end goal of being here in a bodybuilding sense. So, powerlifting, different story, of course. If you're doing SBD, squat, bench, deadlift, you're gonna want to start with those, or at least not fatigue yourself before starting with those at the beginning of your lift. So, do 4 sets of these. Do more lateral raises, some rear delt. Keep moving. This ends up being like one of my longest days of working out, just because it's hitting 3 muscle groups. All right. haven't done a superset in a minute just because you'll see with doing like an upright row, at least for me sometimes, like I'll pull like this and it makes it kind of uneven. So I've been trying to do stuff unilaterally. Maybe not unilateral, but at least the way the weight is distributed. Because I was doing, at least the past 6 months or so, I would do like seated lateral raises with dumbbells and then superset with like just lean over, use a lighter dumbbell and hit rear delt like that. And basically I get the same thing as doing this. Honestly, I just wanted to mix up what I was doing from doing it for 6 months straight. Still see, I'll do like an upright row with the cable, and then once I'm done with that superset, I'll move the cable up to here and do like a face pull. And it's a lot easier to actually hit your rear delts if one with the superset, shoulders are already basically like burnt out from doing that, the upright rows. Going straight into a face pull, way easier to actually like feel your rear delts getting hit. And also it doesn't feel like you're like fighting the weight. Because I know if you're doing a face pull with like a cable, at the time it feels like you're trying to fight the cable. And because your shoulders are already fatigued, probably only able to do like half the weight you actually can do. And then you feel it in your rear delts a lot more. So we'll do that today. That being said, I have no idea how much weight I'm gonna put on this thing, so just have to see as we go. stand up. And when you're holding the weight already, yeah, okay, now go. There you go, perfect. Okay. So you can just throw the other one down. I like to, sometimes it starts to feel uncomfortable, right? So what I like to do is get more just zoomed out. Yeah, this. We'll do some supinated tricep push downs, abs. Well, to get out of here. So much fuck today. All right. All right. Crank these out quick. The workout's already been, like I said, longest one of the week at least. Like an hour and what time did I get here? 3? It's 4:30. Yes. Probably be another 15 minutes before we're done. All right.
I just want to do the whole time of That's why we're ahead of it. I was always outside when I was
All right. Check it out. I'll talk more in the car. I'm not probably not gonna talk much after I finish posing here. Okay. Okay. I think I'm starting to finally turn into cutting mode, just like metabolism was. It's a week or so into it now, the mini cut, and it takes your body a little bit just to transition from constantly having the extra food and going from building to losing weight. It takes a little transition time. You don't just instantly switch. Same concept as to why you bulk for a extended period of time over months instead of doing a bulk for a week, cut the next week, bulk the week, cut the next week, is because your body, you don't want to just keep flipping back and forth between the two. Your body has to respond and adapt to it, and then works better after just it's adapted. So, okay. All right, see you in the car. All right, you're getting flashbang. Oh, before we head out. There we go. Yeah, good workout. Just fucking sore. I don't know, maybe this is my body finally switching into cutting mode, which it should be. It's been a week and a half now, about. So it usually takes, I don't know, a week or so, a week or two. So I'm probably at the near end of finally starting to shed some fat. Not even like chubby. I'd still say relatively lean, just lean for sure. But cut was well needed. It was 5 months or 6 months. It has been 6 months since I competed, so yeah, well needed. I don't know, maybe like a month of a reverse diet out of show, and then like 4 months, almost 5 months bulking, like 16 weeks ish. It's pretty long bulk if you're constantly gaining weight. So cut was well needed. I was starting to feel like crap on the bulk. It's just in like my training started to decline regardless of upping the calories. My body started to put on much more fat than muscle. Mentally, I couldn't think, which that's usually not one of the reasons you start a cut, just because you have a high carb diet.
but they just added on to the list of things that was like, my body was clearly telling me, like, we got to chill out here. So, it's a lot different than just saying, oh, I'm full and I'm force feeding myself and need to cut. Like, no. If I did that, I would have started a mini cut 3 months ago. So, by no means is that like the reason you should be cutting. It's other indicators. Because, I mean, part of either bulking or cutting is pushing your body into something that, I want to say, I guess it doesn't want to be, right? Well, it's healthy to bulk and cut, but I say it doesn't want to be because your body wants to stay at homeostasis, which is just fancy for saying your body wants to stay the same body weight, same amount of muscle, same amount of fat. What's going on? And when you're pushing it in, either gaining weight or losing weight, it's your body's way of saying, like, hey, we want to stay at the same spot. But doesn't necessarily mean the bad thing. But also doesn't necessarily mean a good thing that you're on the right track, right? You can bulk and be hungry and be in a good spot for a bulk. You can also be in a bulk and be in a good spot and be full. You can cut, be in a good spot and be full, and cut, be in a good spot and be fucking hungry, right? So I guess the feeling of fullness or being hungry is good in some sense, but never like an end-all be-all indicator of like on the right track. You know, one sense that it's a good indicator is probably for like this mini cut. Once I'm starting to actually get a bit hungry again, what's this guy doing? Probably in a good spot is once I start to get a little hungry again. So that's not always the case. It just depends situationally what spot you're in your lifting. Sorry, I was focused on this guy who's got double wheeled truck on like the rear wheels, and he was taking up 2 lanes. I was trying to get over, and this guy's cutting me off. All right, I guess what we get for 5 o'clock on a Saturday. I don't know. What else we want to talk about? I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff in the lift I explained, or it doesn't need explanation. I don't know. If you got questions, let me know. But we're gonna talk about one more thing before we just call it. I want to make an actual car talk at the end of this video. I could talk. I know what to talk about. Something that I'm probably gonna be throwing in this another video that I'm gonna make it like at my desk at my apartment. I guess the misconception between a clean bulk and a dirty bulk. What is people are? I don't know. It feels like I'm in rush hour traffic right now. It's Saturday, but whatever. Clean bulk versus dirty bulk. They're not really a thing. It's really more of aggressive bulk and a non-aggressive bulk calorie-wise. The food itself is not really a difference in like the fat you gain. Because you can eat a super clean diet and become a fat ass. It's tough, but it's sure as hell possible. You can also have a super shit diet and 1, not gain any weight, and 2, actually have a okay bulk. Not the best, but an okay one if you track it right. So yeah, I guess a big thing is like thinking that just like if you have a donut or something, it immediately turns into fat. But if you're cutting, right, your maintenance calories is like 3,500, and you're only eating 3K a day, and you eat like a pound of chicken and a dozen donuts, and let's say that adds up to like 3,000 calories, that's your diet, you're gonna lose fat regardless of eating donuts. You're sure as hell gonna be hungry though, because those are not filling at all. You can eat a dozen donuts and still be hungry, but you'd still be losing fat. That's just like the big takeaway there, is that the trade-off of eating like junk food while on a cut is that you're most likely going to end up hungry at the end of the day, which is the one thing you always try to avoid when you're on a cut, is because you want to like prolong having to be hungry so you can cut longer. But yeah, same goes for a bulk. I've done both ways of bulking. One, I've just done like an if it fits your macros, just like eating whatever I want as long as I hit like my protein goal and total daily calorie goal. And I also, sorry, my phone's shaking like crazy. I've also have like a legitimate meal plan like I have now. So I've done both. I've done the if it fits your macros, tracking it for a year straight, and I've had this diet, like actual meal plan, for a year and a half now. So, biggest difference between them, having an actual meal plan, you have way better reading of what your body's doing, can actually adjust your calories properly because of the consistency of what you're eating. You're eating the exact same thing every day. It's pretty easy to read the data your body's giving you on what your body weight is, what you look like in the mirror, because it's the exact same thing you're looking at weekly, just the changes only. The only thing you're seeing is just the changes specific to the exact diet, not some other variables. Basically taking out other variables so you know what's going on. That's like one of the biggest parts. Another one with just if it fits your macros is a lot of the times there's a lot of trace nutrients that it's like not an exact reading each time. Like you may be off plus or minus like 100 calories per meal, and if you're eating 6 meals a day, that's like a 600 calorie fluctuation in your day. That's your entire surplus, right? So that's a problem that comes with it as well. But it's better than nothing for sure. Also, another big part of it is if you're bulking, you may think that like eating junk food is a lot easier. Sometimes it is, yes. I'd say the first like month or two of bulking, having a if it fits your macros diet, eat whatever you want to calorie goal, is way easier in the beginning, but the longevity of it is shit. Like you're not gonna be able to do it for that long. And an actual meal plan, beginning is shit because it feels like so much food and so much volume that you're eating. But your body eventually gets used to it, and then it's way easier. The longevity's there. So one's easier in the beginning, horrible for after that. One's horrible in the beginning and amazing after that. Like the meal plan I have now, a year ago, it sucked. Yeah, it was brutal. I don't want to say brutal. All right, I'm fortunate enough to be able to eat extra food that my body doesn't need to be able to bulk. But yeah, like starting to, just because like I mainly like the protein from it, dude. Like that sheer amount of protein is tough to get down, but that part, you adjust your diet, your metabolism adjusts pretty quick. So, yeah, I guess we'll call it at that. I know I'm on the thruway right now, so that's why the car is loud, but tomorrow we got back, then quads, then rest day, then chest, then biceps, then hamstrings, then rest, then shoulders, then back, then quads. So, yeah. So, y'all watching. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.